I sat there, mouth open, no words coming out. My vocal cords felt frozen, as if something had wrapped invisible fingers around my throat and squeezed. I felt such terror then. I still can't fully comprehend it. Even now, years later, the memory makes my hands shake. It started in college. My brother Henry and I were juniors, taking the same literature courses, living in the same cramped dormitory. That's when we met Elizabeth. She was beautiful, yes, but it was more than that. Something about her drew people in like moths to a flame. Students would fall silent when she entered a room. Professors would linger after class just to talk to her. Even I felt it, that magnetic pull that made you want to be near her, to earn her attention. Elizabeth and Henry became inseparable. I'd watch them walking across campus, her pale hand resting on his arm, whispering things that made him laugh. But she always wore long sleeves, even during the sweltering September heat when everyone else was dying in tank tops. One evening, I was studying in the library's basement level when I heard voices from the storage room. The door was cracked open, and through it I could see Elizabeth rolling up her sleeves. My breath caught in my throat. Her forearms were covered in fresh cuts. Deliberate, precise lines that had been made with something sharp. Dark stains covered her hands like she'd been working with rust, or something worse. The metallic smell drifted toward me, sweet and nauseating. I backed away quietly, my heart hammering. Who was Elizabeth, really? The phone call came at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday. Henry's cell buzzed on his nightstand, and the sound pulled me from restless sleep. I heard him mumble Elizabeth's name, and my eyes snapped open. "This is Elizabeth's mother," a raspy voice said. I could hear it clearly in our quiet dorm room. "Tomorrow is an auspicious day. Elizabeth is waiting for you both. You must come to our house." "It's the middle of the night," Henry said, his voice thick with sleep. "Near the old cemetery on Millfield Road. She's waiting." The line went dead. Henry shrugged and went back to sleep, but I lay awake until dawn. Something about that voice made my skin crawl. It sounded ancient, worn, thin like paper. The next morning, Henry's phone showed 17 missed calls. Elizabeth found us at lunch, sliding into the seat across from Henry with that strange, hypnotic smile. "My mother called you," she said. It wasn't a question. "Yeah, pretty late," Henry said, but he was smiling back at her. "There will be rituals at my home this evening, sacred ceremonies. I want both of you there." Her eyes found mine. "Especially you, James." The way she said my name made something cold slither down my spine. We agreed, of course. Henry would have agreed to jump off a bridge if Elizabeth asked, and I told myself I was going to protect him, but deep down, I was just as curious as I was terrified. The drive took us far from the city, winding through dense woods that seemed to swallow the afternoon light. The GPS led us down a dirt road that barely deserved the name, branches scraping against Henry's car like fingernails on glass. Elizabeth's house squatted at the road's end like a diseased growth. It was old, maybe Victorian, but wrong somehow. The proportions were off, the windows too small and dark. A rusted iron fence surrounded it, and beyond that, the weathered headstones of the cemetery stretched into the shadows. As we approached, I saw a figure moving between the graves. A woman, maybe 50, bent over something on the ground. Her hands moved in sharp, ritualistic gestures, and even from a distance I could hear her muttering words in a language I didn't recognize. "That's weird," I said, pointing her out to Henry. He barely glanced over. "Come on, Elizabeth's waiting." The house had 3 gates, 3 separate barriers we had to pass through to reach the front door. Each gate was heavier than the last, the hinges shrieking like wounded animals. I wanted to grab Henry and run, but something kept pulling me forward. Not curiosity anymore. Something stronger, something that felt like invisible hands pushing me from behind. Elizabeth's mother met us at the door. She was the same woman I'd seen in the cemetery, her face gaunt and eyes too bright. dirt still clung to her fingernails. "Enter with your left foot," she commanded, and we obeyed without thinking. Inside, the house was tomb dark. Black cloth covered every window, blocking out the dying daylight. The air tasted stale and metallic, like old blood mixed with incense. My eyes struggled to adjust, making out only shapes and shadows moving in the gloom. Elizabeth took my hand. Her skin was ice cold. She led me up narrow stairs to a rooftop garden. Behind us, I heard her mother guiding Henry deeper into the house. The garden was a graveyard of plants. Dozens of small pots held nothing but withered stems and dead leaves, all except one. A single black flower hung from a twisted stem, swaying even though there wasn't any wind. "Pick it," Elizabeth whispered. My hand moved without my permission. The moment my fingers touched the stem, the flower crumbled to ash, and the plant joined its dead companions. Elizabeth smiled, and for the first time, I noticed her teeth. They were too sharp. Back inside, we joined Henry and Elizabeth's mother in what must have been the main ritual room. A black statue dominated the center. Not carved stone, but something that looked like it had grown from the floor. It pulsed with its own sick rhythm, and the air around it shimmered with heat. Then they brought in the boy. He couldn't have been more than 12, but he moved like something broken and reassembled wrong. His skin was gray, waxy, and when he turned toward me, I saw that his eyes were completely white. No pupils, no iris, just milk-white spheres that reflected the candlelight like wet stones. They placed lit candles in his small hands. He didn't flinch when the wax dripped onto his skin. Elizabeth's mother began to chant in that same strange language I'd heard in the cemetery. The words seemed to burrow into my skull, making my vision blur. The statue's pulsing grew faster, and I realized Henry hadn't moved or spoken since we'd entered the room. I looked at my brother. His eyes were open but vacant, staring at nothing. When I called his name, he didn't respond. His breathing was shallow, barely noticeable. That's when the true terror hit me. This wasn't just some weird religious ceremony. This was something else entirely, something hungry. I grabbed Henry's arm and pulled. For a moment he resisted, as if invisible chains held him in place. Then something seemed to snap and he stumbled after me. We ran. Through the house, through the 3 gates, down the dirt road. My lungs burned, my legs shook, but I didn't stop until we reached the main road. Henry came back to himself gradually, blinking like someone waking from a deep sleep. "What happened?" he kept asking. "James, what happened?" I couldn't answer him. Even now, I struggled to find words for what we experienced in that house. We never saw Elizabeth again. She simply vanished from college the next day, as if she'd never existed at all. When we tried to find the house again a week later, the dirt road led nowhere, just to a rusted gate and an empty field. But sometimes, in the dead of night, my phone rings. When I answer, I hear that raspy voice. "Elizabeth is waiting." And the most terrifying part? Sometimes I want to go.